don't shoot Chelsea game.
Man.
This thing is the other game, Newcastle Tottenham, that was live.
So yeah. Oh yeah, Newcastle and Tottenham.
Yeah.
I see why they'll show that one because it's like Newcastle and Tottenham feels like a more
Well,
well
maybe more traditional fixture or whatever the word is. I don't know. Maybe.
yeah.
But yeah. Uzo.
Repping.
Uzo, we're going to talk about Iguafon.
That's the only coach I know, man. I don't know another coach.
We're going to talk about Iguafon. Thinking that football guy in Nigeria, you are a joke. Like, I'm sure other people just looking at this guy.
Do you know?
Do you know Gajola?
You know Gajola. He now nodded his head like this, like you know,
like you know the way you do where you say what's understood doesn't have to be explained. Like you get. Like he doesn't have to explain himself after saying such atrocity.
I think when I watched like a longer version, he said after I said, "Do you know Gajola?" I said, "You know the football is risky sometimes."
Yeah. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. It gives you an edge.
But guys, why joke? FIFA should just ban us. I think you guys are on serious. Just get football has left you like the week that left Casemiro. My goodness.
The Casemiro cookings are going to be sweet and delicious.
I know, Uzo, you are ready. Like, they were giving last week. They were giving you Man U fans were insulting you.
Don't worry.
The comment section they were giving you Uzo like this Tottenham fan. What are you saying?
When I told them to keep their manager, they were happy. If they want person they dance. My dad used to always tell me you can't weep more than the bereaved. Otherwise, you become a suspect. If you're here somebody else's funeral crying your eyes out, they're gonna start looking at you like, are you the one that killed him?
When that last season, when they said that they were going to give Ten Hag a new contract or something, I was surprised though. Like someone that they should have gotten rid of. Anyways, I'm happy that they didn't get rid of him.
Bro, it's the greatest thing that Guardiola has done, man. Gave him that FA Cup.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen that meme where
this guy was saying they had the most trophies after Man City, like since in this Pep era or something like that. I saw.
No, since he came to the league.
Oh, okay.
Since he came, yeah.
So he said that over the last 2 seasons they've performed the best after Man City. I'm like, and you know the thing is, Dutch people are very honest. That's what I keep hearing. That the reason why people think you should stop talking to the media is because it's too honest, blah blah blah. So my thing was, if you meant that honestly, then that means they honestly have an idiot as a manager. Because that means he believes that. Like he believes that 8th place with negative goal difference, as long as you won a trophy at the end, means that you are the best performing team after the team that won.
Football is it's just like a life, man. It's so poetic. Like I remember seeing a video of Ole saying trophies don't mean anything. Like you can get a run in the cup and win something that doesn't mean anything. That the league determines, ultimately determines how good you are.
Yeah.
And at that, the same thing.
Yeah, at that time, bro, he got a lot of hate for it.
He got pelters, yeah. He got pelters.
But that statement is sort of true.
Bro, yeah. I always say, is the statement that every time I say it, they're like, oh, of course.
But it's not 100%.
I don't care. I would die behind that. Even as a starving Spurs fan right now, I wouldn't trade constant upwards progression for a one-off cup because I keep telling rivals, and like, let's remove banter. I keep telling rivals, one Carabao Cup, one FA Cup will not stop you guys from bantering Spurs. Let's just be fucking honest. If we win one next year, it will not stop the jokes about an empty cabinet. It won't. We'll win it. We'll go back to being ass, and the jokes will start back again. like the one conference that doesn't stop West Ham from being trolled. It doesn't stop like what did it change? The FA Cup and the league that Leicester is different, but it didn't stop them from going down, and it stopped them from being a joke of a club. Still, like they're still a joke.
Well, at the end of the day, that trophy is still at least Vardy was still giving Tottenham fans. Was still reminding
Yeah, I mean
them,
that's no, but for
when
someone
Dana
like
came
Vardy,
back and met you, we still get that.
for someone like Vardy, like it makes perfect sense. But as a
Yeah.
Leicester fan, right? Like Vardy's at the end of his career. You think he cares? He's done. As a Leicester fan, you have to support the team even after,
But
right?
Leicester's case is
Yeah.
different though. They won the league.
Yeah, they're small. Yeah,
The league,
that's why I
the
said
league
like
is not a cup.
yeah. Leicester is
Yeah.
an unfair one. Leicester is
Yeah.
unfair. But any other team that's like I'm already hearing United fans now saying,
They even won. Leicester even won FA Cup safe.
Yeah, bro.
yeah,
They won
yeah.
every
On
cup.
Chelsea's head, I remember now.
That Tillemans goal.
Sorry, Adams, still on Tillemans.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Salah just said that he's not his last year. Chai.
Salah and Van Dijk, bro. What's going on at your club, man? You guys are not.
That's all
No,
negotiation, bro.
I think this thing is, I don't know, this new director of football. I think they said
Respect,
his
like
policy
Kareem
is
was saying.
that
Respect. You guys should
they
respect the
they
legend.
don't like
man.
they don't like offering players over 30 new contracts, according to
Oh, you
them.
guys are taking a cue from Chelsea's book
I
now.
don't even understand this obsession with over 30. We're not offering you new contracts. It's time for you to go.
You know what's so funny? People are looking at Salah's performances right now, and next year he can fall off the map. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Yeah.
Like, it's not the director's job to be swept up in sentiment. He has to project over the next 3-4 years. Like, okay, if I resign you, see Casemiro now, stupid fucking Man U.
Oh, you people, okay, let's get to
Giving him
now people can
That's
think,
the-
people can should do their job without sentiments.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
it has to be-
you should do your job without sentiment.
Okay.
You should.
Well, if it's Chelsea now, we'll be hearing other things. So like, oh no, this guy
I've long defended
disrespectful.
this window. I defended Chelsea. Previous windows, I thought they were doing bullshit. And like the reality is, not everything you do makes sense.
True.
This window, I thought they handled it flawlessly. All of the signings that people were raving about, blah blah blah. You can see there was the ins and outs. Everything was balanced. They were replacing some of the academy kids that they're losing with young prospects that are going to some of the sister clubs, loans. It makes sense. Like that's logical. And the manager has come out and said, these are the guys I'm working with. It all made sense. You could every signing you could tell this is for the first team, this is for a sister club, this is for loan, this is long term. You could tell there was direction. But when they were like doing the Enzo thing, the Caicedo, that there was no. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. There was no direction there. Guys went to go and camp out in Portugal for 2 days, begging for Enzo's signature just because he won Young Player of the tournament. There was absolutely no rhyme, no reason. All of a sudden, Lavia was involved, even though you weren't linked to Lavia like during the window.
We just had to
do
do that one, man.
Before.
But guys at Messi side, man, we had to get one over them.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I should show
so
them.
you got one over them. They flogged you in the cup. You finished 6th, went to Conference League. Wow, you won that round.
The cup. Like, look, it's the cup, man. Lavia is here for 6 years.
It's the cup.
They have they're stuck with Wataru Endo.
Like they're finishing above you again.
They're stuck with
So
Wataru
how did you
Endo,
get
man.
over them?
And when they lose Salah and Van Dijk,
Please see your
they're
plan.
I know.
Oh man, but yeah, that one I was like, yeah, there's no strategy there, man. A lot of the old signings there was no strategy, but this window was good. Even the walking away from Osimhen was great.
Even this window, I can argue that there's strategy, but there's still some signings that just let's leave you scratching your head like, okay, so what's this guy meant to be? What's the plan with this guy? Like Sancho, thinking about it, like, okay, bro, we have signed the next big thing out of Brazil, apparently.
Estavo.
We've signed the biggest thing and
Ecuador.
the next biggest thing in South American football, in who Kendry Pius, and we have Modric, we have Madueke, bro, we have Felix, and then we still went and signed Sancho.
No, Sancho made sense because of Sterling going. It made perfect sense. You replace that kind of same role within the team, and then Sancho is someone who, contrary to popular belief, I think he's okay to stay on the bench. I think he's absolutely okay with it. Like I don't like you get someone who's from the city. You know what I mean? Hopefully, you just imagine he'll give you slightly more than Sterling, but you already upgraded on the main starting role.
Okay, but all those guys are on 6 years. So what happens next season when Kendrick Pyers and them boys come
That's
in?
it's a good problem to have. That's what I'll say. It's a great problem to have. Like I've never understood the whole like, oh, then who will play here, who will play there. That's what competition is for. Like there's
You know,
never been a
but
case where
when
it's
there
like,
are too many though, like when like it's just not logical to have like yes, it's good to have competition. You have two, three of them in a position, but if you're starting to have like 4 and 5 and 6, it's like, bro, what are we doing here?
I mean, I don't think everybody is going to survive, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. That's the only way I look at it too. And then them boys too coming in. I mean, it's going to be their first season in the Premier League. So are they really going to play?
Yeah, you don't want to look at them like, oh, you have a
Yeah.
clear path to the club. You're just going to like, regardless of whatever you are coming in with or whatever.
Yeah, whatever your talent is, yeah.
Like I look at Madrid, Endrick, Adergula, like these are guys that are coming into an already stacked attack. They get minutes here and there, fine, but you know that they're clearly for the future.
Yeah.
And guys like that shouldn't put up a fuss. And if they come in training, they look great, they look amazing. Beautiful problem to have. Now you have a sellable asset that you can move on.
Yeah.
In some of the older guys. Like these guys have a bigger window.
I'm sure Arsenal will be there to take some off our hands.
I was about to say in Prem, like these guys are so willing to help you guys. Anytime.
Bro, I'm like, how we've done wait, have we done? I'm trying to think about a player that has moved from Chelsea to Spurs or vice versa.
We'll do business with you guys now since the Modric situation. You would have to go back like maybe to William Gallas. I don't even know if we got him directly from you guys.
Oh yeah, I think that's the only one that
we get him from you or from Art. I don't even know, but I know he played for all three of us.
Yeah.
But that just doesn't happen anymore. But ever since that beef over Modric, Levy has been like, fuck Chelsea. And I love it. I love that we don't do business with any of our rivals. I love it.
Adams, are you recording? Why is he showing that he's recording here?
Yep, I am.
Are you serious? Okay.
I'm about to say, almost whatever you say or do will be used against you. The law. I can't find the remote from our God.
So I'm sure you have some nice things to say about Chelsea too.
I couldn't watch the game fully because my game was on at the same time.
Yeah.
But when we had that long pause, I watched a little bit of what was going on with them. I mean, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't have predicted them to beat Palace.
Wow, really?
From what I saw against Servette, I don't think. I mean, but this is why I was telling Adams to calm down anyway.
After their 6-star performance last week, Chelsea were the big performance from last week.
No, like there are just some performances where it's like you can't be over critical, over analytical, because like if your team scores 6 goals against a team you lost twice to last season, you have to just say like, that's good. But at the same time, you can't get carried away and think you've arrived for sure. Yeah. But that one, I'm like,
how he says that.
No, bro. You guys know me, man. That's how it's always been. But it's like, okay, this one episode, you just have to come out guns blazing, like, yeah.
Exactly. Give the positives. Yeah, I get you. That's what you did. Yeah.
I thought I knew but what I saw last week was a revelation. Now I know I would have hated to know Adams during the glory days.
Adams during the glory days was very. That's why I'm smiling at this Chelsea downfall. I've enjoyed these last few seasons, man.
I can only
Yeah,
Adam
imagine
was always giving me
bro,
love for that time.
when they won that 2021 UCL. My goodness,
nah,
some
nobody could say
things
nothing
that you
to me,
can't
man.
take back.
Nobody could say nothing to me.
This Chelsea and Man U down for the so sweet. Those teams ruined my childhood. They ruined my uni days were horrible, man.
Bro, I
Chelsea
remember,
and Man U, they used to beat on everything. They always beat us every time. Maybe like
nah, man,
10
I
weeks into
can't
we
laugh,
just win
man.
only one. We just win like one.
Ah.
Liverpool were awful.
No, but I respect Liverpool, man. That's one of the teams that I respect the most in Prem history, because they never had like, except those like 70s or whatever when we're obviously not born, but they never had like financial backing like the rest of the teams, like the rest of the big four. I don't think you guys ever had. Guys were always struggling to buy players, selling off your best players, bro.
It was awful. It was awful. God. Kenny Dalglish and God, we had awful players. Konchesky, Borini.
Yeah, Borini was a Chelsea Coman product, I think. I think I sold him to Sunderland.
Fabio Borini, man. Well, in the trenches.
You guys had you remember the days you guys have David Ngog,
Ngog. Jay Spearing.
Jay Spearing, Jojo Shelby.
Jojo Shelby, man.
Now you guys have had.
Mediocrity. There was one time I was watching in school that time. That time BU, I don't know, that was maybe 200 level. There was one season we were like 14th. We were struggling to beat both teams. I was almost in tears in the dining hall. I was like,
Bro, I used to remember all these things, man. Bro, better teams would be playing. Pius would be like, I want to watch Liverpool. We're like, Baba.
wait. Champions League, they used to bully me that time. Group stages, I didn't watch Liverpool's game.
It's like, I beg. Which kind of Liverpool? I beg. Bro, what better team? I beg.
Now it's not time for payback. As bad as we were that time, Man U could not give us 7. They couldn't even beat us 4, 5.
Nah,
Was 3.
I can't lie, Pius. If Salah wants your babe, just submit her. You people cannot lose him. You legit cannot lose him, because the guy is still him. And Adams, you over there, you need to wipe your mouth whenever you bring up Hazard near Salah's name. You need to wipe your. You cannot in good faith ever talk about Salah and Hazard again.
Recency bias is a thing in football.
Recency bias.
Recency bias.
That retired at 20.
Recency bias is a thing in football. That's
You guys say recency bias. Now, CC Adams glass. I want to knock his head. Nah, bro, Salah today. When I was watching him, I'm just like, this guy is in top shape. The guy is just moving like he's 23. No way Saudi should be able to collect this version of him. There's no way Saudi should be able to collect this version of him.
No, yes, now that's what this guy was, because Daniel Sturridge was like post-match. He was saying that even when he was in Liverpool,
I saw the interview, and he was saying this is last year.
Yeah, so he said that. No, what he meant was that as of right now, this is his last year in Liverpool, because the club has not offered him.
You better anything he wants. This is the kind of player that you just give him anything he wants, for like at least 2-year contract.
Yeah.
Because now, bro, without him today, that Sobosai guy, bro, I'm sorry, you people overpaid for him. That one, I think, was make you fall. Instead of just square it one time, he took another touch. He was trying to shoot.
But going back to that Salah stuff, like the guy is, how will I put it? Like, to play. That's where I think that's one of the difference with Hazard. Hazard was not disciplined, like in terms of football is more than
eating akara, man.
Yeah, it was not his lifestyle. He was not
Angala
maintaining that lifestyle.
Now, for Adam, one day we'll have a public apology from you. I don't care if we have to hire gunmen to put gun behind your back. One day you will apologize.
Nah, Salah.
Yeah. But I feel for. Yeah, as a Liverpool fan, I still feel bad for Hazard. Like I feel like Hazard
Yeah, I
had
don't
like
feel bad for him, man.
he had a higher ceiling. He just did not live up to that potential.
He didn't
Like,
have any higher
Higher
ceiling, man.
ceiling, I'm
He
sorry.
didn't
Are you
have any higher
sure?
ceiling, man. Bro, the biggest myth in football is absence, man. Bro, people are doing Pogba prop now in United. They're saying, wow, if only we still had him. Forgetting that he was there when he child 5-0. He collected red card after.
Bro, if you remember that
Guy,
thing that
wait,
we used to always say,
absence.
bro,
Ah.
the best thing you can do in your sport career is to be absent in times when your team is bad. Because, bro, they will make up so many stories about what you could
Huge
have done.
monuments.
Nah, man.
People forget that Hazard was in that Chelsea team that went 10th place after Mourinho.
Yeah,
That got Mourinho sacked. Because the guy scored one goal against Spurs to
What do
stop our
people
title.
forget about Salah?
bro.
People forget about the start of his career. I get it, but
Bro.
the period that he's had at the top,
Bro, his
the
peak
longevity
period
he's
is still
had,
going on.
Dust Hazard.
Bro, nah. I'm not going to hate, man.
Dwarfs him.
Bro,
Salah is
Hazard,
something else.
Hazard at 32 was playing match ball, man. Come on, man. Stop this.
That
He was
was
with
playing
us in Dallas.
testimonial.
He was with us in Dallas, man, playing testimonial game. Adams was asking
You
him,
know those games where after the game they give Gala and what?
bro, they'll wrap gifts like this, man. And during the game, they'll say, "Can you guys stand up? Our Excellency, the governor."
Why is Hazard catching strays, man? Bro,
No, it's just
no,
it's so
Adams, it's
long.
your
People
fault. It's
force
your
those
fault,
debates.
bro. I cannot forget that day you were actually trying to make a case for Hazard over Salah. Like, come on, man. Let's know what we're doing here. Let's know what we're doing here.
The conversation was there to be had at that
One
point.
one thing I want to
that
push
point.
though is Salah the greatest ever, like point blank greatest ever performer in rivalry games? Because what he has done to United, not Chooks. If I could get a guy to do that to Arsenal,
I mean, that's what Kane was
I-
he left.
Bro, we had somebody that did that to us now.
But Chooks Kane was doing that. He was doing that in like 2-2 draws, 2-1 win. What Salah does to United?
Yeah,
I don't think
I
he has
Salah
ever been.
changed them.
I don't think
Yeah.
even the Drogba Arsenal one reaches this level. Bro,
Nah, this is
they put up
next
a
level.
stat today. They put up a stat today that said Salah has more goals against United than Sancho and Anthony have combined GA. Like, we're not talking about them goals and assists.
Crazy.
Like, this guy has scored 21 against. No.
It's crazy.
See,
I mean,
you
the thing
just
about it,
do
that I remember like his first like maybe 3 or 4 meetings against Man U, he was struggling. I remember there was one season that they were even saying Ashley Young put him in his pocket. If you remember, there was one season like it's crazy, man. Football is crazy. Can we start?
What is George?
Is George coming?
Nah, that guy, his eyes are red, man.
Understandable, man.
Wait, how about Rim? Or is this it?
Is this it, Chooks?
I'll put in the chat.
This thing go paying George because George was waiting to face Uzo. He was ready for
Nah,
Uzo.
he was
after that.
ready to bro. You know, I'm in the chat with him and Haruna. Before the Brighton game, they were like, they would rather lose to Brighton so they can win. They were there creating scenarios in their head that this game will be a dicey 1-0 for them.
Only for them to lose both. This life. You go plot Casemiro's go plot your own.
William said you can come on now.
Yeah.
This my
Come on,
stuff.
guys, like
Yeah,
Yo,
but we need
Nasta.
a United rep.
Hmm?
We need a United rep.
bro, United United
Yo,
guys.
these guys are so pussy, man. It's always United fans that
Nah.
never show up for the
Uzo,
cookie, bro.
go and see Haruna. Go and see Haruna inside Strictly Banter. Just see what he said. Now, bro, get the whole United fan base out of my face, man.
Like, you know how they were talking at the start of this. It's fair, whatever, man.
Bro,
All I know is me.
not too
Bro,
high.
after we held our list from Arsenal, I was here facing Pig Santi on my ones. On my
man.
ones, we won.
All I'll say is if we go to Tottenham and City and come out with 0, brothers, better go and call Santi to come and represent Arsenal here. Brothers, better go and call Pig Santi to come and represent Arsenal here. No, but
Man,
my you
this
fans
is
know how to
bad.
hide,
George.
Anyway, so
George
should I
is
say-
George is the worst one because George swears he doesn't run,
Bro,
but
he runs
after
all the
every bad fixture,
bro,
he's
he runs
somehow
all
on
the
a trip.
time. I knew he wasn't good. He wasn't going to go watch the game today.
The guy got into Uzo in that last episode. He said, "I'm going to decimate him."
Now, bro, George, I've not judged. I've not
That man don't
judged.
run.
The guy can run. Yeah,
I
I've
will
said link
decimate him.
Graham.
Guy, you see people like Uzo always like they are talking for the comments.
And the funny thing was like when Uzo was saying the same thing about Chelsea, when he was saying Chelsea, he was like, "Yes, that's true."
yes. He
Literally,
was agreeing.
literally in the reel before that reel, he put the comments saying, yeah. What was his expectations? Blah blah blah. All of a sudden, is the shoe on the other foot is he talking for clicks.
Now, George ducks mimosas and ducks podcast. That's what we would name the episode.
Airplay, man. We
I know you
booked
have to name the
that a
episode.
long time
George,
ago.
where's George?
Guys, you know,
Where's
George?
George?
The funny thing is like we're already recording, so you can make all these clips available. So that would be
That would be nice. Yes, this is
Where-
nice.
How does Rian call him? Georgie boy.
Jorginho, Georgie boy, where is he?
Where is George?
I'm sure the excuse will be Euro is injured, Hoyland is injured.
Saying that to a team that didn't sign anybody is nuts. The good thing
Ugarte did not play.
the good thing with this ass whooping is you can't even there's nothing they can say. You're going against a team that didn't make a single signing.
Uzo, it's my favorite kind of result when the United fans have nothing to say. You see Haruna conceding in the chat as well. He is
It's pathetic.
He's lost it.
Nah, yeah, Harna. I need to call him after this podcast. I know the guy was Uzo, you know Harna, man. He takes this things very, very deeply. I know his eyes are red.
Here's what surprises me about United fans. The fact that they couldn't have seen this coming. That means you're all idiots. If you can't see this coming, then you're an idiot. I'm sorry.
All right, guys. Let's start officially.
Well, are you gonna stop and start recording again, Adams? Or are you
nah.
gonna
He
do-
just has to do the intros. And that's it.
Cool. All right.
Adam, what's this new? Wait, just hold on. Are you doing group reels?
What? Hey, Adams.
We might be under surveillance.
That's Salah Hazard part. I need
Yeah,
that.
don't delete.
Before we start, let me report Don Adams to you. Don Adams was pushing Hazard agenda a few months ago, and today he said recency bias is a thing. Just saying. just
Nah,
in
it's
case what's the
easy.
cook to
Easy
John.
after
No,
a big win. It's
I'm
easier
not gonna
after a
lie.
big win.
The real error in the pot right now is United.
Let's
Hazard
focus.
cookies will come during the summer.
Let's focus. Focus.
I will say-
Winter break. We can do that.
I
I said
will
winter break. International break. We can do talk
No,
about.
the actual break where we're doing our predictions right after
Oh right.
Chelsea played some good football last week.
I need to redo my predictions. Bad.
So I'll see that
I need to redo my predictions. Bad. United are going to find their level, man. Bad. Those
All right,
guys
let me-
made me put them top 6. Do the intro.
Let me
Let's go.
yes. Okay. Hello guys, hello everyone. Thanks again for joining us for another interesting episode. Another weekend of Premier League football has come and gone, and we're here. The experts are here to dissect all the action as it unfolded during this weekend. Let me start by from the bottom, my bottom left. Riam is joining us again. My fellow Liverpoolian is joining us again. Hello, Riam. How are you feeling?
It's amazing. I have watched football for 16 years for days like today. This is the best feeling I've had in well over a year. I think since the 7-0, actually. I just hate Manchester United so much, and today was everything that I needed.
No truer words have been said, Riam. I feel you. I feel you. All right, let me go on to the Chooks. Chooks, how are you feeling?
Bro, I'm filled with joy. And anytime man you get packed up, I don't care if my team lost. None of that matters. And you know, one thing I love is when they make it the last game before international break, so they can really dig into their souls.
We can stew on it.
And they got packed up so easily. Now it was good. One thing I will say, Casemiro, the football has left you, man. Please,
All right. We'll get
Kaya.
into that, chips. let me also introduce Uzo. Yeah, Uzo is joining us as well. Sports fan, repping sport. Uzo, how are you feeling? I'm sure not so. Okay, it's also rocking, rocking the Nigerian jersey.
Hey man, one of my managers told me he's just copying Pep. My other manager asked me, "Do I know Guardiola?" So I'm just living the life, man. If you can't get Pep, surround yourself with Peps.
All right.
I feel happy. I feel fulfilled. I feel grateful. It's a great weekend. Let's talk ball.
It is. It is. Let me introduce the Adams as well. The Adams, the boss. How you doing, man?
Hey man, feeling good, feeling good. Like the boy said, immediately after the Chelsea game, I felt a type of way. But actually, I didn't see that game, but seeing that result just made the weekend a lot better for me.
Yeah, cool. Seems everybody's on the Man U hate train. Interesting. All right, there's only one place to start, of course, in terms of our analysis, and of course, the big game of the weekend, the big rivalry, Manchester United versus Liverpool. We saw Liverpool dunk on Manchester United at Old Trafford. Sweet results. As a Liverpoolian, I'm in sixth heaven, seventh heaven. My mind is in space. I'm so happy. In fact, I've been dancing around the house. But let me bring in Riam, my fellow Liverpoolian, into this. Riam, let me get your full thoughts on the game. What impressed you about Liverpool? And what do you think Arne Slot did? What do you think he got correctly? What's your general thoughts on the game?
Yeah, so I'll kind of summarize it as well with what I've seen the first couple weeks too. I didn't really know what to expect from Arne Slot. Some people had said that he does play exciting attacking football, and he does. But I have noticed that he's a little bit more patient with his build-up. He's a little bit more cautious whenever it comes to putting his tactics out. But there was never a time today where I felt that we might even lose the game or draw. It just felt like we were going to win 3-4, even 5-0 at some point. And I'm just so happy right now. Everything. With the Ipswich game, I was so nervous at halftime. I thought we were going to throw away the lead. Even in the was it Brentford we played last week as well?
Yeah, Brentford.
I just wasn't too sure what to do. I'm scarred from last season, to be honest. But today, from start to finish, just immaculate performance. One other thing I'll say as well, the transfer window shut yesterday, and I know a lot of our fans rightfully get disgruntled when we don't sign players. And I am more of the opinion of I don't like to sign players straight away if I don't think they're going to be better. Ryan Gravenberch today was just a different animal. He was so good. And I think he just allowed Szoboszlai just kind of do his own thing. Diaz just looks like a different guy. Some of the unspeakable things I said about Luis Diaz last season have completely left my mind. He is just on a different level. And I honestly, I'm so happy. This has been the best performance I've watched from us in well over a year. I'm just delighted.
Ram, someone said they should check on Diaz's dad. He might be gone again. Look, I haven't seen this type of performances since his dad got taken. I don't know what's going on, man. But
hey, more so, he's in witness protection now, right? But I know how the Colombians like to celebrate. So up today, I can see how they're going.
All right, guys. Before I bring you guys in to talk on the game, let me also give my thoughts as a Liverpool fan as well. I thought it was a fantastic result. As a Liverpool fan, beating Manchester United at Old Trafford, there's no sweeter feeling in football, to be honest. And doing that, was top notch for me. And I think football is such a funny game because I think I mentioned last week, I was like, there are some games I'm looking forward to this season based on how last season went, and this was just one of them. So I can tick this off my box now. Like, yeah, we've beaten United because last season, in a way, we had more attempts in this game last season than we had today, I think, and we ended up drawing that game. It was such a weird game. It was so inexplicable. it felt like we lost that game even when we drew. And that was the beginning of where we fell off in terms of the 3-all starting race. That was where the 3-all starting race began turning into a 2-all starting race. So football is just a funny game, and the summary is that we're just clinical today. Just like Riam said, Diaz. Liverpool fans have their opinions on Diaz. Some people say he flatters to deceive, skill, running, but no end products. But these last 2 games is looking like, if you can get this Diaz. But my problem is, I'll still tell Riam and my fellow Liverpool fans to be patient. He could come back after an international break and reset to the old default Diaz that we know. All running 100 miles per hour, and then no end product. But hopefully, speaking on the positive note, hopefully he keeps that this sort of form. He continues in that sort of form, and then who knows? At first, I had my prediction at 3rd this season, but I'm beginning to get carried away. I'm beginning to say, bring on Man City. I'm not afraid. But yeah, it's just what this sort of victories can do to you. Let me bring in Uzo. Uzo, I know you've been a very good opponent of Slutty Ball. You've been like, yeah, Slot is a good coach. So let me get your own thoughts on the game and on Liverpool. First of all, we'll get to Manchester United later.
Yeah, man. Arne, Slot. Let's go, man. Bro, I'm all in, bro. I'm all in. He got me, man. I want to just rub the guy's bald head. I look at my manager sometimes, I just sigh. Because we almost had Slot, and Levy was gonna do Levy things. We didn't want to pay the clause. He re-signed with Feyenoord, and you know what? Good on him. I was telling my fan base today, I'm like, I think Slot is a better manager just off the fact that he didn't come to Spurs, because clearly he makes good decisions. When you're a manager who is that well thought out about your career, and you know that you don't want to end up like people are saying he took over a title challenging team. Well, yeah, that's because he was smart enough to stay where he was at and wait for the best job to open up. Unlike his other bald-headed partner across the road, that guy jumped at the very first offer, and he jumped right into hot water. But yeah, I like Slot. He plays really, really good football. I think it's I feel like the best way to describe the type of football that he plays is he's good or reliable, right? He's that guy that has been this girl's best friend for years. He's just waiting for a chance, but he's steady. He never pushes. He's always there after every breakup. He just sends a nice little text message of reassurance, but he knows that one day there's going to be that opportunity. Yeah, that's it. He probes. If you notice the way he attacks, he's never committing too many bodies. He's always just, are you going to give me this? Oh, you are? Okay, nice. Let's take that. Taking what the defense gives him, never overextending, never leaving his team exposed. I was saying it in the group chat earlier. The way Liverpool attack is like they're able to sustain pressure while also simultaneously not being vulnerable on the counter. It's remarkable. It's something that I've seen from Mikel. It's something that I've seen from Pep with the 3 center back lineup. But it's like Slot does it with attacking fullbacks still, with no recognizable DMs. It's just a team philosophy that they're always compact. They're moving on a tightrope. One thing that you can always tell from good management is how the team moves in unison. They don't have to be aware of what the next guy is doing. If you're taking 2 steps to the left, that your partner is taking 2 steps to the left as well. And that takes away some of the more mundane things from your just ability to play. It allows you to be free, to be focused on your task at hand, because you don't have to worry about, oh, do I have to cover for this guy? No, if I take these 2 steps, he knows what to do. And that's the mark of good management. And that's why I get really frustrated when I talk with United fans and we're 3 years into your project and they're still saying things like, wait till Ugarte comes into the team, wait till Lenny Yoro's fit, wait till this. No, these are the most common sense, simplistic aspects of style of play. Style of play doesn't mean that you have to stick to counterattack or possession or whatever. Style of play just implies like, is there instructions? Is the entire team following those instructions in unison? Once you can identify that, then everything else is about deciphering how you choose to go about your attack in different phases. So massive credit to everybody knows I'm all star. Listen, I'm about to claim a new title on this show. I'm the preseason guy. And you can ask Chooks. Chooks can validate this. when Arsenal beat Chelsea 4-0 at Orlando 2 years ago, I was one of the first people to say, you know what? Arsenal look kind of scary. I didn't predict a title challenge, but I was like, you know what? With Jesus, they look like they can do that. Because I don't think that preseason is worthless. I completely disagree. I think you are who you are until you're not. And I looked at Haaland at the start of preseason this season, and I was like, you know what? He looks hungry. So I changed my pick. I had Arsenal winning the league. When it came to predictions, I said, you know what? I'm going with City because I think Pep looks motivated. He was coaching his ass off in the USA. I think Haaland looks like he has something to prove because he had a down year. They won the league, and now he looks like he's motivated to perform. Both of those things have started the season off true. And who did I have as my preseason top performers? Slot ball, man. I was completely enthralled. I didn't miss a single preseason game. I was enjoying Trey Nyoni ball. I didn't care what I was watching. Everything looked great. Listen, Slot is the real deal. I don't care that it's his first year in the league. And I know like the pressures of expectations, of course, he's not required to win the league or win a trophy or whatever. But I think that this team has a chance to sustain a challenge. And I think that they're going to be a tough out in any single competition because he's inherited the perfect storm. He's got a mix of a team that has world-class players, has leadership, has an identity and a way of playing. They know how to win. They have the resolve. They've been in the trenches with one another. And he's coming in with a more mature approach. And I hate to say this about Klopp. Klopp was fantastic at what he did, and it was very successful. So there's no taking away from him. But I think that the team got to a point where a different voice was needed, a different direction was needed. And even for him, he needed a different challenge. You needed a break. Sometimes these things are necessary. And the team looks like they are absolutely better for it. Maybe not every player is going to survive this regime, right? But as of right now, that they're all bought in and they're all playing at the level that they're playing at, I think this looks like a perfect marriage. And it's equal parts beautiful to see, but also like really gut-wrenching knowing that we approached this guy. We were in talks with this guy. He slept over. He woke up and he made a better decision. And I can't fault him for it, but I wish we scammed the guy to my club because it would have been nice to have him. But yeah, to the game, I'm not surprised. I said it last week. Again, my only takeaway from this game is if anybody is surprised, I understand why Liverpool fans are surprised because when you're a fan of the team, you don't see the team the way rivals see it. Like you guys are still trying to figure out, okay, are we still good? Yeah. I understand the trepidation there, but United fans, you should have seen this coming.
No, hold on, Uzo, before you go into United, let me quickly round up with Real. Yeah, let me quickly round up.
You eat.
Let me quickly finish up on Liverpool so we can quickly jump into United. So Riam, let me come back to you on Liverpool. Right. So we saw the transfer window close this past weekend. You know, if you go by social media, a lot of Liverpool fans, there was a lot of anger. In fact, you could see people saying, "Oh, our transfer window is 2/10, 2.5/10. Where is the 6? Where is the left centre back? Where is the left back?" You know, a lot of people angry, Liverpool fans. I want to get your own view on the transfer market and that number 6 row, which Liverpool fans are still saying we should have brought in somebody. Of course, we tried to get Zubimendi. It didn't happen. It didn't work out. So do you think Gravenberch, fine, we've seen him these few games and it seems like he's done well. Do you think he can sustain it? That's my fear. Because after the international break, we have the Champions League kicking in, and this year is a different format with a lot of games. Let me get your view on the Liverpool's transfer business.
Of course, yeah. It's a tough one to say. I don't want to say that we don't need a number 6 because clearly the club seem to think that we do. We tried to go for Caicedo last year. We tried to go for Zubimendi this year. End up buying Endo last year. So there appears to be a need for one. But actually, something interesting Uzo pointed out is, this isn't a Klopp team anymore. Klopp used to play with that sole number 6 with his 2 workhorses in front of him. And I don't know. I never used to see Klopp really as this big tactical mastermind, this genius. I think he used to thrive a lot on the emotion of the game and just working hard, to be honest. I think Slot gets a lot more out of his players by doing a lot less. And that's why I don't think the 6 is super necessary. I think that Gravenberch, Endo, and gosh, who am I missing?
So was
McAllister.
McAllister, yeah.
They can hold down one of those number 6 positions or two of them in a pivot. And I think more than anything that I was just very impressed with was signing the Salah backup means that Soboslai and Elliott don't have to play that right wing role anymore. They can just solely focus on being the number 10. That allows McAllister to move back, and that allows us not to have people filling in. So I felt that a big need of having a backup for Salah was fixed there, and it allows a few other people that we deputize there to kind of go back to their own jobs and retreat back a little bit. So in my opinion, I think for now, Gravenberch is going to be just fine. I do think the club obviously seem to identify a number 6 as something important. And there'll be a day where we sign someone that is that Fabinho level, that Mascherano level, that is really going to come in and make a change. But for the time being, we need Slot a little bit more settled and to kind of pick something that, is going to ease him into this team. I'm still holding my top 4 prediction. I don't expect Slot to go for a title. And if we find ourselves in a title race, amazing. But I think for at least the next 6 months or 1 year, I really like Gravenberch.
Riam, you're just saying that, but I know in your mind, I'm sure after the podcast, you're like, come on, we can go.
Hey, listen, 2 weeks ago, I wanted Luis Diaz sold, right? And today he's my favorite player on the team. So, I'm capable of being reactionary and falling for the bait when things go wrong. But I'm just really happy with the team at the moment. And I really think that we have a few solutions for anything that's sent our way. I'm very excited.
Well, good. In fact, you're instilling me with some more confidence. In fact, I'm jiggy. I'm feeling bouncy. All right, let's talk Man United now. They were on the receiving end of a heavy defeat at home to their rivals. So the thing for me about Manchester United is kind of like a puzzle for me, right? I know last season, right? It seems like we're back at the same spot again. Just after 3 games that we played this season. It seems like United are back where they were towards like at some point of last season. You're looking at the team, you're like, what actually is the problem? If you listen to some fans, they'll say, oh, they want the ownership gone. There were protests that they need what's the name of this what's the name? I've forgotten the Glazers. Oh, the Glazers are the problem. They need to be sold. Then the stadium is leaking, the dressing room is bad, the training ground is dilapidated, And they said, okay, Ineos has come in. Okay, that's settled. Okay, sign players and they look good now. But it seems like they're back where they are. The Adams, let me come to you, right? From the outside looking in, what do you think the issue is for United? Is it that Ten Hag is just a bad manager, or is just not good enough for a club like Manchester United, or the problems run beyond Ten Hag?
I think it's pretty clear now. I think it's clear that it's Ten Hag that's the main issue for the team. Obviously, they had that season that kind of deceived us, and we thought, it might be, this coach might actually be something. But right now, man, I don't think you can blame it on any other thing apart from the manager. I didn't see that game, but before the start of the season, I was actually thinking, especially as a Chelsea fan, I looked at the signings that they made, and I was worried for my team. I felt, Manchester United, they got more experienced players, and I felt like they were going to be in a contention for top 4, which obviously is still open. This is just a 3rd game.
Exactly.
But man, I'm worried for them, man. I'm worried for the future of Manchester United, because the players that he has gone and got, right? It's all the same type of guys, right? The guys that he has worked with. And this is the same thing that he did before. So it's like, man, I don't know, man. It just feels like he has to be the issue. Now they have this new ownership coming in. They try to, like Uza said, they try to fix the dressing room. They fix the roof. They did all that stuff. But the major thing, which is, once you cross those white lines, 11 versus 11 on the pitch where you do your talking, it's still lacking. It's still lacking. And right now, I think the fans need to understand that they can't back this coach anymore. It's pretty obvious. It's clear that the coach is the problem.
I think I agree with you. Chooks, I'm coming to you next. I just want to point out that I was looking at the game. I think I've seen all 3 United games so far this season, and I'm puzzled, right? Even though, of course, I enjoy Manchester United's downfall, but I'm puzzled that when I see their starting 11, I see Rashford, and I'm like, this guy is not on form. Fine, they say form is temporary, class is permanent. So right now, of course, he has that class. We can say he has that class. So, in my opinion, he has that class. But right now, in terms of his form, he's no good. Why don't you put him on the bench, put him away from the firing line, and bring in maybe Ahmad? Because I saw Ahmad today, and when Ahmad came on, he kind of like changed the game towards United.
Ahmad didn't start today.
He didn't start the game. He
Wow.
came on and then he even threatened. Even it could have been if he started the game. Who knows? The game could have been a different game. He came in and threatened, and I'm wondering why isn't he starting ahead of maybe Rashford and they can switch Garnacho to the other side. So some puzzling decisions. And then you saw today when he took off Garnacho, boos around the stadium, like they're almost like singing, you don't know what you're doing, that kind of vibe. So it just feels like Ten Hag is standing on thin ice. I'm sure those owners in the hierarchy don't really fancy him. It was just sort of pressure from winning the FA Cup, but like, okay, majority of the fans want him, let's still keep him. But I think right now he's losing support fast. But let me bring you in. What do you think? Manchester United, where do their problems lie for you?
Right, these guys are bad. I'd say that you guys were trying to be. You guys were firing George when he was here. I told you guys my prediction. When I told Uzo I found it hard to even put them 8. He said, "No, I'm being disrespectful." I'm like, how am I being disrespectful? And these same guys will now tell you that Ugarte is going to solve their problems. With that, a good friend of mine once said that time is his only ally, because United fans at the beginning of the season were making up all these different scenarios like people don't use their eyes. And to be honest, I was going to add some perspective about the Liverpool win, but I don't feel like I want to. I want to hit on United today properly, and that's what I'm going to do. So there's no perspective. Gravenberch was holding a 4-time or 5-time Champions League winner by the throat. Kobe Meno had his chain stolen and he couldn't get it back. Zexi, brother, you are not a 9, you are not a 9.5. I don't know what you are, but you cannot be a
5.9.
It was so horrible today. They were all I heard after the Fulham game was his hold up play. I don't think he completed one pass.
Chooks, you know, he's the kind of player, right? That Nigerian parents did go and cut that hair. Go and cut that hair.
Somebody called him Azikiwe, and I don't know why that makes sense. Sexy Azikiwe. I don't know why that makes sense. But it is United are not like they are not a good team, and they made the same mistakes that they keep making even under new ownership. And it's like one thing I guess even some Chelsea fans struggle to come to terms with is there are just times where you are not good. And you need to tamper your expectation. Like you need to reduce, like you see with like the transition from club to slot.
Okay, so sorry, when you say they're not good, like the players are not good enough, like
no, the whole organization itself is not, the coach is not good from top down, right? If you want to clean something, you need to do it and know this is your level. If United fans went into this game and they were like, if we play Liverpool and we get a draw, that's good enough. But they went into this game confident that they could win, and that's the problem. I saw after the first 2 minutes, the whole Old Trafford is loud.
yeah.
Meanwhile, it's just the game has just started, and they are the most annoying thing about it too is they are not going to reduce this whole game, because you guys watched all of us watched the game. It was clear dominance from Liverpool, but United fans have reduced the game to a Casemiro mistake. Do you see Ten Hag's quotes after the game talking about the XG and that if you take out the individual errors that they were evenly matched. So even their own coach is living in his own delusion.
I think I'm sorry. I think I need to say Ten Hag is deluded. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Imagine what all of us watched, and their manager is saying that the game was even with the City and Chelsea game at start. You watch that game. Imagine Maresca coming out to say, "Oh, the game was pretty even, but we just couldn't score." No, sometimes it's good to
Man United manager, man.
It's good for your manager to be aware. I remember the first time we beat you guys in a long time, COVID, and the manager was saying that don't allow this win to fool you guys. The gap between us and Liverpool is this big. He's self-aware because even if you go on to win, you just know which team is better. Forget about the wins and losses, but you watch that first half and you just see how, as Riam said, if you're a Liverpool fan, me watching the game today, I was just on my phone. I was actually eating because I'm like, United is not doing anything that even looks like remotely they're going. And the sad part is, even if United scored 2 goals, I could have put every money in my savings that Liverpool will still win that game because they were controlling everything. All of United's chances just came from maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, but it was just clear dominance. You see Van Dijk laughing, like the players already know
Van,
this game is
Van
done.
Dijk telling the butcher, telling him to come and face me.
Exactly. So, my thing with Man U is now all we're going to hear is Højlund is not fit. That when Højlund comes back, the season will start, and Ugarte is going to take over from Casemiro.
Yeah.
And we'll be back here the next time they get swallowed up by a top 16 because it's going to happen again. Because now their manager, and one thing I've noticed about their manager too is he knows how to run with anything that's like this season. I think this season he's going to run with this title, those 2 trophies he won. Because last season, remember, it was the whole Garnacho offside that apparently their season got derailed after that goal was allowed. Today, after his I think he was getting heated with one of the reporters because he was asking which manager has won more trophies or whatever than him that's currently in the league. That after Pep, he's the only manager that has won as much trophies in England. Brother, you just got packed up in your own home. You know, at some point, I thought it was at Anfield. I had to text Uzo. They were doing Olays after every Liverpool pass. I was here. I'm like, is this game at Anfield? You got packed up in your own home, and your defense is, oh, you've won Carabao. Mind you, these are the same cup that United fans used to hate on. They'll be like, why are you calling FA Cup? Is that one a cup? Or Carling Cup? Why are you calling the Carling Cup? Is that a cup? Suddenly now, their manager is using that as his barometer for success. That, well, you people can fire me, but I'll keep winning trophies. No, I love that Ten Hag is there. He should remain there. George, you can't hide forever. Because best believe when Arsenal come to Old Trafford, I will be in your apartment to do this episode. The day you don't, because George and Rhea were supposed to watch the game together in Dallas, and George conveniently slept at 5 a.m. Every other Saturday he goes to bed early, but he conveniently, and now today he's now saying he didn't know the time for this episode. Don't worry.
Mind you, how different would it have been if United had won as well? He would have been at the pub 30 minutes early and everything.
He would have been here. You would have seen him with the banner behind his
menu.
But yeah, I don't have anything more to say than what I've been saying. Those guys are not good, and I'm ready to redo my predictions because I don't even see them top 10. But that's just me.
Wow. But I think it's just 3 games in. Things can change. We've seen.
I mean, for the viewers that don't know, this is Pius, man. He knows how to lure you back in. United fans, don't worry, it's just 3 games. Pius will say, football, they can go win their next 10 games. You never know with football. Plus, they have Europa League coming up.
Yeah, I think the game after the international break for United is crucial. So they go to Southampton away. Southampton have not won any game this season.
Wow, how lucky can you be?
Just imagine Southampton beating
that's
United.
That's a win for mine.
To enjoy the Ramsdale breakfast.
That's a win.
No way.
I think if United don't win that game, then Ten Hag I think he's almost 1 leg out for me. Because if United don't win that game and Ten Hag is still confident that he's going to be there, then he might start having to question the ownership at United. But anyways, that's for Manchester United fans. Uzo, do you want to quickly add something brief on United? I know you spoke at length about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just go replay the last episode and everything that I said because it's going to be. I think I'll get it downloaded as a ringtone. So anytime you ask me about Man U, I'll just click play so you can hear the same things. Listen, I was never fooled about the manager. Like I said, that screenshot that's right there in Rham's picture. Me personally, and everyone here should be the same way. If a manager does that to your club, he has to go. You can't stay. There's no building back up. There's no context. I don't care who has to get shipped out. You have to get shipped out with them. I don't care what the context is beyond the fact that we played all academy kids because every senior player died in a plane crash. That's the only reasonable excuse why that scoreline should ever happen. So the moment that a manager sat down on the sidelines crossed his arms and watched that happen to his team, I knew you can't succeed here. You can't be good here. And everyone has said the same quotes. He's come out saying that he's the most, that they've performed the best over the last 2 seasons, besides every other manager, Bart Pep. That is the level of delusion and idiocy that is going on, that is showing leadership at your club. So it's no surprise. And now, one thing United fans need to understand, that Casemiro performance, Ugarte is going to fix the defensive part. But brother, he ain't going to fix the offensive part. If you're expecting this guy, Ugarte, to come in and that your team will get up the pitch, you start attacking more, good luck. Again, this team is delusion from top to bottom.
Lucas Torreira vibes,
bro.
Familiar. I know exactly what he's going to bring, because signings like that, especially with what United are trying to replicate. There's a comp right now of all of Casemiro's forward passing today. I wept. He didn't complete one. Like he didn't even the ones that didn't have pressure.
He was in the team of the week after game week 1, though. They put him in the team of the week. United fans did.
I remember Gary Neville even saying, "Oh, he had a brilliant game. That wow, this is a new Casemiro from what we saw last season."
They're one of the easiest. Is the reason why they sell the most merch. They're one of the easiest fan bases to manipulate. Like you just need. I remember, bro, there was TikToks going around saying that if they had 11 Amrabats, they would challenge for the league. That actually exists on the interwebs. If you had 11 Amrabats, you would win the league.
Uzo, this is Manchester United all over. They are the most arrogant has-been team I have ever in any sport, right? Of any sport I've ever watched, I have never seen a team that's so entitled to the old standards that they just think they deserve everything. And I gotta say, this is why I never feel the pressure with Manchester United, because they will always have this chip on their shoulder that we were the best 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And I can say this because Liverpool fans used to be like this. We were the best 30 years ago, 25 years ago. And every single signing they make, every single managerial appointment, without fail, has some kind of baggage tied to it. It's either a high transfer fee that the player needs to repay. It's either he failed at a different club, so this is where he's going to be reborn. It's either we made a Champions League semi-final 5 years ago before COVID happened. And there is not one player that they signed. Ugarte is coming off of 1 year at PSG.
He was a horrific year, mind you.
A horrific year. They got, but mind you, I was seeing compilations of Ugarte against Newcastle last year.
Well, he was getting moved by Longstaff.
Ridiculous.
Sean Longstaff.
The most, and I tell you what, right? People like Rashford as well. Rashford always scores against Liverpool. My brother, I think it was like 3 years ago was the last time he scored against us. It's like there is nothing relevant in this day and age of what Manchester United do. And the final point I'll make, Erik ten Hag is living off of a season where he finished third and won a Carabao Cup.
And held 7. Yep, that happened.
Right?
And that happened with their full 11 as well.
Ask what happened to Liverpool last season. That was the worst season we've ever seen. Klopp left because he was so jaded. We finished third and won a Carabao Cup. So our worst season in literally in recent history is what Ten Hag is using to say that I am the second best manager in the league. Long may it continue, because every week that they live in this delusion is another week Manchester United is in the mud. And I support any football league that has them down in the ditch.
Riam, fantastic. Perfect. No truer words, as we said. Touché. All right, guys. let's move on from mine Manchester United before we show it's all about mine. Let's move on to Chelsea, the team of the week last week. Right, we saw them today. Play at Stamford Bridge, play out a 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace. I'm gonna bring in the Chelsea fan in the house, the Adams. I know there's a bit of disappointment from majority of the Chelsea fans. After that 6-star performance last week against Wolves, there was a lot of talk like, "Wow, Chelsea's attack is firing on all cylinders."
The way Pius says 6 stars is so sarcastic, right?
No, you're looking at the attack. You're looking at Noni Madueke, hat trick. Jackson after shutting up John Obi Mikel with his goal as well.
Still did today.
Still, yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I had he missed the crucial chance to win it at the end. But well,
Bro, who doesn't miss chances, bro? Like,
all right,
obviously,
the floor is yours. Just take it away.
yeah. I mean, so the 6-star performance or whatever you want to call it, we didn't expect that to be every single week. Come on, like, yeah, it was a very good performance, especially like I said before the show officially kicked off. We lost to that team twice last season. We had Cunha scoring a hat trick at Stamford Bridge. So obviously it was personal to us. It might sound funny because it's Wolves, but it was something that we felt really good about. And we saw Nani, the I mean, I'm reluctant to say one of our own because he came from Spurs, but like we basically built him right for him to score that hat trick, right? It meant something to us. But yeah, this is how our season is going to be like, pretty much, right? Most Chelsea fans should expect it to be this way. Like this team has scary, crazy potential, but there's a lot of inner workings that need to go on. If you watch that game, some part of that first half, we played some of the best football that I've seen in recent times in Chelsea. And it was really good to watch. Like the attacking talent we have, there's no doubt about it. But this is football, right? There has to be balance, right? And finding that balance is where you see teams like Arsenal, teams like City, even Liverpool. But we're far off those teams. We'll have games where we'll blow teams away 4-0, 5-0. And we'll also have games like this that will frustrate us and we might even end up losing. We kind of saw that last season. But the good thing this season is we have a system that we want to play. And like Uzo said, even if it's not really working just yet, but you can identify some basic principles of the system. You can see guys like Cucurella inverting, Gusto inverting. It might not work, but at least you know this is what they're doing, right? And you saw Enzo, trying his best to fit in that offensive number 8 role. Palmer being his usual self, right? He was just controlling the game. Of course, everything it wasn't perfect for him today, but he tried, right? Like I've said in previous times, he just feels like the weight of Chelsea is on him. He felt like he had to deliver. Of course, he got an assist today. He could have done better, but yeah, there are signs, right? There are signs. And we've always known that we needed a clinical striker. We've always known. We tried to get Osimhen. That didn't work out. But Nicholas Jackson is still finding his way in this league. I think he's doing his best. Obviously, for our standards as Chelsea fans, we expect much better. But we've had strikers, big name strikers, come to this club and failed, right? So in that regard, I feel like Nicholas Jackson is doing the best that he can, and he will only get better. But yeah, I was disappointed with that game because Crystal Palace. We always win against Crystal Palace, but I saw a lot of good things today, and equally, I still saw some things that I felt, we need to do better because obviously this is the Premier League. You have to kill off teams, right? When you get those chances, you have to put them to bed. Eze, come on, man. We all know the quality this guy has. Like that goal was just really wonderfully taken. And yeah, there's some discussions that we need to have, especially with the balance in our midfield. Is it Caicedo? Is it Enzo? Where does Palmer still play like that offensive number 10? And Lavia, when he gets back, does he come in straight away? Do we bench him for Enzo? Those are difficult discussions, difficult conversations we need to have for sure. But I can see that this team, is getting there. I get what the coach is trying to do. It will be tough. Like I said, when it clicks, it looks very good. But we'll have games like this that will frustrate us. And some of the attacking talents we have, my only worry is there's just tendency for them to want to play hero ball. Like a lot of them. Felix wants to do it on his own. Nkunku as well. Sometimes Palmer, and you don't blame Palmer because he feels like it's his team. But at the same time, that's Warren. Sancho coming in as well. These guys, I don't know, man. They all feel like it has to be them. Like they all feel like they're the man of the team. But I guess, that comes with time and patience and understanding how the team works. But yeah, I know I would have wanted to win for sure. But yeah, we're definitely going to have games like this. And yeah, I'm just excited to see what this season brings for sure.
Yeah. I think the point about Chelsea is for me is I think it's it's kind of like a team with potential. It seems like I'm not sure Adams of the average age of the team. It feels like it's a very young team that can still go on to to get better. Who knows? They can achieve great things. I'm assuming the what's it called now? The objective this season is Champions League qualification, top four finish, and you're looking at that attack line. That attack line it looks like wow, like we saw what they could do if they click against Wolves. So I'm sure many Chelsea fans will be hoping for more of those sort of days where they are blowing teams away that they think that they expect to win, and then they'll see how they get on in like some of those big six games. I don't know. Let me bring in Uza. Uza, let me bring you in just to talk a bit about Chelsea before I bring in Riam and maybe Chooks.
Yeah, I was saying off, well, on cam, on cam, but off show. I didn't get the chance to watch the Chelsea game in totality because it was concurrent with my game, and I was watching Mate Ball. But I I caught a few passages of play, and I actually caught both goals because I had the Chelsea game on my phone, so I could hear commentary. So when he starts shouting, I like look over. Um, the Jackson goal, I don't know what the fuss is about. Like, how were you expecting him to miss that? I really do want some more context for some of these goals. Like, I hate this GA thing, and I hate to do this to him specifically because I actually like Jackson. I think Nico. I think I think he'll come good. I think, and by come good, I don't mean he'll be like a 30 goal a season player, but I think he'll always be in that 14 to 17 range, which is fine for his fee, for kind of his talent level. It's okay. But I hate this GA thing because he doesn't get to tell Mikel to shut up. Like, he just doesn't. You don't get to tell someone who won pretty much everything on offer to shut up because you scored goals against Wolves. And that was kind of my whole point last
No,
week.
no, but that's not true though. Like, Mikel has been getting into this guy from last season.
You don't get to tell him to shut up
Nah,
for beating Wolves. That's all. My whole point is, do your talking on the pitch, granted, right? But you have to know when you can, like, it's to me, it just seems silly. Like, you're talking to someone who has lifted a Champions League, lifted multiple league titles, someone who has done everything in that same shirt, and you're telling him, yeah, hold that. We beat Wolves away, game 2 of the season. Like, come on. Like, you have to have some self-awareness. And I feel like it's always telling about the mentality of the player, how they react when they choose to react, right? Because I like, some people wait till they achieve like major things. Like Haaland was saying, oh, I guess I'm not a good football player after winning the treble. That's when you can talk. Now you can line all those guys up and say, you know what? What are they going to say now? Like, I just won a treble. You know what I mean? Like, that's when you dunk. Like, dunking after a random Wolves game just didn't make sense to me. And I hate that everything's judged by GA now, because that goal was entirely created by the right-hand side dynamic of Noni and Palma. And he was there to finish it off. And, you know, granted, good position in all of that. But I'm not, that tap in to me, this is just me, like, context wise, that tap in doesn't give you the right to say, oh, shut up. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying, is just contextually know when and where to pick your battles. And like, you shouldn't be trying to fight a Chelsea legend who's still a fan of the team, who's expressing his own opinion and wanting the team to do well, because he's saying that the standards of Chelsea right now are not the same, which everybody can see that. So that's just my only thing. Choose, are you trying to add something?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I agree with Adams there, because, you know, Chelsea is my dark horse pick. But I personally don't like when ex-players...
When you say a dark horse for the title?
No, for top four.
Imagine being a dark horse for top 4 after spending $1 billion. Get out of here.
Yeah, anyway,
that's your expectation. What the hell?
the point you made is, I don't personally like when ex-players, you've singled out one guy, right?
Bro, like,
and you keep critiquing him every single time. At some point, the guy is going to say something. I feel like what Jackson did was deserved, because at least he gets Mikel off his back for a little bit. Because, like, Jackson is not the problem, even last season. And one thing I do like about Jackson, even today watching him, is he's so industrious. Like, even if he's not contributing to goals and assists, you can't look at Jackson and be like, yeah, like the guy puts in his shift literally every single game. And then you have an ex-player. I'd rather they do what Henry did. Henry just distanced himself when we're bad, man. Now we're good. He came back. Like I'll respect you doing that than week after week you are going in on a particular player. And it doesn't not help that you guys are from the same continent. You know, he's expecting that, and probably there hasn't been any discussion on the side. Because you see it with some of the
But see, I don't like that whole like we're all Africans things. Like you can be
No,
African
but
and be trash. That's
but
okay.
at
Like that's fine. Like
I'm
I'm not gonna support you just because of where you're from. It doesn't make any sense.
At the end of the day, they are all Africans. Like
I agree.
It gets to like Drogba. You won't. I don't know what clip it was where he was talking about Chelsea, and it didn't sound. I mean, obviously, there's time and place to critique and say certain
but
things.
even Drogba is on record saying he doesn't recognize Chelsea. That's a quote from last season.
Yeah, exactly.
But he never said Jackson.
But I'm saying like you don't even if you want to
Mikel
pick
has
out
talked
Jackson,
about
right?
more than just Jackson though. He talked
No. Mikel has continuously singled out Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
Like more than because he's trying to push the Osimhen P, right? He's trying to put like, oh, we need a striker like Osimhen. Jackson, bro. At some point, Jackson was going to react. I don't think he like.
But Adams, do you think that you need a better striker to hold on? Let me finish this question. Do you think you need a better striker than Nicholas? And I like Nicholas Jackson, but do you think you need a better striker than Nicholas Jackson?
Obviously, everybody.
Wait. To get back to the level of Chelsea that Mikel was,
we need more than no.
If your answer to that is yes,
we need
if your answer to that. Yeah, but if your answer to that point is yes, then I don't get it. I can't tell the truth because it hurts your feelings.
Nah,
and I guess a Wolves goal shuts me up. Oh my bad. I'll go cry.
I don't know.
I'll go cry into my Champions League medal.
I don't know if
Nico, you sure showed me.
Nah, I don't know.
Where's my other Premier League medal? Oh man, Nico, man.
I don't know if we get Spurs fans or Spurs legends talk about your team. I don't know, man. I don't follow your team.
And we have a lot of nasty ones too, but they didn't win anything either. So it's like when the England legends were going at Kane and he was like, they've won this shirt. They also didn't do shit. And guess what? They all shut up. That's a different dynamic. But when you're talking to someone, I always say you got to listen to the messenger sometimes. Like, you notice how like Roy Keane says some crazy stuff and nobody ever goes back at him because they know his credentials is on the table. That's what I'm saying. Like if Mikel's not qualified to speak on specifically African players performing for Chelsea when he was in a team of almost predominantly African players performing for Chelsea, then who can?
I mean,
now here's the thing, Uzo, right? We are not saying Mikel can't speak, right? First of all, African players don't get it easy, right? It takes us. It's 10 times harder for African players to succeed playing for a European team than other nationalities, maybe from Europe. So if you have a legend that has a voice in the game, you shouldn't be using it to bring down the only other. Like this kid is from Senegal, and you know what he took him to get to play for Chelsea. You're an African, you've played for Chelsea. You should understand what it took him to get there. And instead of just trying to bring him down, because this guy is living his dream, it's harder for him to get to where he is than maybe Palmer or whoever, even Madueke that is also African. So you as a Chelsea legend that understand that as an African, you should understand that, okay, yes, I love Chelsea. Like these guys have said, Drogba hasn't said anything of that manner, right?
Let me just respond to it quickly. I appreciate that you put it that way, and I wish that Jackson would have done that. That's my whole thing. I can appreciate you saying, you know what? Be more aware of like the journey and shine a light on other African players who have it difficult. I get that. I wish that's what Jackson would have done instead of the kind of braggadocious, arrogant, but my whole thing was like a win away at Wolves and you scoring one goal does not give you that kind of, they're both wrong, whatever. And I like the way Mikel handled it as well. I like that he just, you know what? My bad. You could.
Sorry. Uzo, can I just say that? Oh, sorry.
Riam, I was just about bringing you in as well. I was like, you've not spoken in a while.
No, that's okay. I just want to say, I feel a little sorry for Nicholas Jackson, actually. I'll say that I remember a time when Drogba first signed for Chelsea. So he was from Marseille, I think, and he had an okay season, and Mourinho brought him in, and he must have gotten maybe 12 to 15 goals. And I think Jackson finished with about 14 last season. But even in spite of that title win, a lot of people used to kind of dog on Drogba a little bit, and Mourinho would publicly come to his defense and say, no, I've chosen him like for this team. It doesn't matter what any of you think. If I like him, that's all that matters. And I want him to do better next season. And he did. And we became the Drogba that we know and love. And separately, I remember about 6 months before Chelsea bought Nicholas Jackson, Bournemouth also signed him. I think he failed a medical there. And I remember hearing the owner, Bill Foley, he's an American guy. He must be about 70, 80 years old.
Yeah.
He was genuinely crushed that Nicholas Jackson was not his team. He was actually visibly upset by it and saying, I want this guy. He's part of the project we're building here. This is something that I wanted him to be a part of. And I think that there's no one really publicly coming to his defense because, the vibes you get from him sometimes are bozo vibes, right? Darwin Nunez vibes. And it's frustrating with me. I even used to see it in the City game a couple weeks ago. Sometimes he'll run the ball into the net before deciding to shoot the ball or just kick it properly. But today, I really liked watching him. I know he had a tap in, but there was, he technically scored again, but he like shoved someone in the back and just kind of continued play. He had a shot towards the end. I think they hit the side netting, but it's the first time this season I saw Nicholas Jackson play with some conviction to try and, shoot the ball. And it looked as if he'd been coached a little bit. So I'm interested to see what Enzo Maresca does with him, because, he's publicly said Sterling is not my winger. I want to focus on players that I care about. But I'd like to see someone of reputation go to bat for Jackson a little bit, because I don't think he's a bad player. I think, to get 15 goals in a Premier League season, that's not an easy thing to do these days. I say this as a Liverpool fan. We were cursing Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo for getting like 8 or 9 goals last season. I agree that Jackson, 3 of them came in the Tottenham game, and 2 of them were just comically hilarious.
Four actually.
Four
in the reverse fixture. Yeah.
Comically hilarious goals. But he's not a bad player. He just needs a bit of coaching, and he's young. He's young as well.
But my thing with that, Rim, is he's not a bad player. I just don't think he's at the level for Chelsea to start winning Champions Leagues and league titles. And that's okay sometimes. You don't have to defend average players. It's okay. Like, he'll eventually find his level, and that's fine. Like, Drogba came in with a lot more pedigree. He had played in the Champions League. I remember he tore Porto up during that Mourinho run or whatever, and I'm sure that's why he signed him. But I just think this era, like, we're so protective of like average players, and I'm not saying mental health don't matter. Like, I get that. That's all good, but it happens even in my fan base. It's okay for a player to just be average or like around average, and that's okay for Mikel to want like, a player of a different pedigree. But I agree with Adam saying, you know what, you have to be a little bit more sensitive to kind of the journey that it takes for these kinds of players to. I just wish Jackson would have approached it from there. Sometimes his attitude just don't match the skill set. That's all.
All right. So finally, before we move on from Chelsea, I want to talk about things Arsenal shortly. Adams. So based on Chelsea's form right now in terms of consistency, so that's a win last week, a draw this week. So I'm assuming after an international break, we should be expecting another six goals win. So you guys are away at Bournemouth when you get back from the international break. That should be an interesting game. But so my final question to you is, Adam, so Sancho has come in. Does it change the front line for you, or
to start the game?
Yeah,
against Bournemouth.
Will it be a starter, or Maresca will just stick with what he went to today?
I think for the first time in a long time, in about a year, right, this is the first time I'm feeling like I'm settled on the starting 11, or most of them, because the Chelsea we've seen for about a year and a half now is like every single week somebody chopping and changing. But it feels like this 11 is sort of settled, right? I know there might be
Adams, knock on wood, because you know how your medical department gets
injured. Yeah. Bar any injuries, and of course, international break is always, bro. Gusto is injured, so yeah. Wow. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but I don't think I'll change anyone. The front three of Nico. Palmer.
When is Reece off his suspension?
Bro. Oh yeah, I think 4 games. 4 games. So after the Bournemouth game.
Game, he'll be back. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, the Adams. Let's move. Let's turn our attention now to the Arsenal. Chooks, I'm coming to you now. The Arsenal. We saw Arsenal the first game of the weekend. At the Emirates. The Emirates was bouncing at. Looking forward to the game. All the predictions I saw, I think from yourself as well, was like, oh, Arsenal will, should be a comfortable victory over Brighton. But at the end of the day, that was not what happened. The game ended in a 1-0 draw, and there was a lot of anger post-match directed towards the referee. Or it was a referee blunder that cost Arsenal the 3 points. Oh, it's very difficult. We don't want to drop points now. You know what? We're going for the title against a Manchester City team that is very efficient. A lot of negative vibes after these results. In a way, I just want to tell us before you come in. I think I just need to. I told my brother who's an Arsenal fan. The season Leicester won the league, right? I remember Manchester City winning their first 5 games, 15 points. Everybody was like, "Oh, done deal. City are champions," But that is not always the case. So I think.
No Arsenal fan has said it's a done deal.
Yeah, no, but in terms of the negativity around, dropping points is early, especially because Arsenal fans are looking at City. So right now they're already looking like it's them and City. So any points they drop now and Man City go on to win, they're like, oh, we're already on the back foot, And then you're looking at the fixtures ahead. I think after the international break, it's Tottenham away. So there's already that sort of like fear, but it's still too early. There's nothing decided yet. But anyway, Chooks, let me get your point of view. Your view is the one that matters the most as an Arsenal fan.
I think the negativity is coming from dropping points in the game that we had won already. Like the game was pretty much won if Rice stays on. Brighton weren't really doing much to be a threat. And then, we go down a man, and that's how we end up dropping points. So I don't think anybody is. I mean, obviously, you have PTSD from Man City because fans always think, like, let's say we lose out on the league by 2 points. Everybody will be like, well, we didn't drop points at Brighton, which is a very childish way to look at things.
Look at it. Yeah, just sorry to cut. I also want to ask you, right? There was talk around, after the red card, did Arteta approach the game in the right way? Some people were saying, Arsenal went back when they could have still sort of like match Brighton, like I don't know.
Those are people that don't have sense. Okay. How do you go a man down and your immediate reaction is to keep attacking? You need to try and save the goal you scored, which we didn't do because the game got very.
That's just how we play, mate.
I mean, yeah, that's for Ange. But the game got chaotic. We considered, and we had to save the points because our manager always says, if you can't win a game, don't end up losing the game. So I would take the points. But yeah, the frustration comes from every league I watch, every tournament I've watched that is not Premier League. The referees don't find a way to make themselves main character. I saw a tweet that said referees in the Nigerian Premier League get flogged for far less. So one thing that does annoy me, because you can ask Uzo, when I called him, I'm not even upset because I've seen these decisions go against us multiple times. What is making me happy is I even saw John Terry say, yeah, that referee had a nightmare. Even our ops, people that hate Arsenal, coming because it doesn't make sense that forget it's Arsenal, forget anything. Imagine you're paying good money to go watch a football game, and that's how somebody gets sent off. Especially when Brighton had done the same thing twice and didn't get a yellow. Even today, because one thing I love about my fan base is they know how to cry. So now they've made a compilation of all the times people kicked the ball today. And guess how many yellow cards were given? 0.
I think Palmer got a yellow card for that today.
It's like I don't understand how, and what's so funny about it is when that happened, right? I'm like, oh yeah, Veltman is getting sent off here because he kicked Rice. The ball is still rolling, so it's not as if he was even going to have to retake the free kick.
Yeah.
By the letter of the law. So that's what I don't get. Obviously, I'm not considering the league is a long league. Except City win 38 games, they should drop points eventually. But my own frustration is it's harder to compete against City if this is how you're going to drop the points. If Brighton matched us and beat us, no complain. I'd rather flog on my own players. But Man City is a juggernaut. They are playing so well without Rodri and Foden. Literally, the West Ham game, that game was there for the taking. But Haaland has scored 6 goals in 2 games. People are talking about Nicholas Jackson, impressive 15 goals. Haaland might get 15 goals before November. So this is what you're going up. And that's why even as like Liverpool fans, deep down, and be honest, if it was just Arsenal you had to compete with, you would come out here saying you can challenge for the league because that's a fair fight. But with City, you guys know what it takes to beat City. You guys went 26-1 in your first 27 games that title winning season.
Yeah. We have to be almost perfect, almost 100 points.
Those are the levels you have to reach. So when you end up getting the kind of results we did because of referees, the referee had security escort him out. And then, nothing gets done. And it's one of those things where, like, the Brighton manager was saying that, the 2 situations were not the same. Somebody said in stuff like this, like when Ange did it, they told him, wait, he's going to touch you eventually. Because I don't think the refs have a bias to one team. I just think that they just, for some reason, they also think that people come to watch them. So they end up making a scene out of nothing. Because I'm trying to think about it. I was telling you, if I'm going to get a red card, and I've had some nasty close ones. Who's played with me in college, he'll tell you, I'll make sure I end the red card. Imagine getting sent off for that. Every pundit, even Tim Howard, that I don't like, was saying you have to use common sense there. Every other ref, like we saw the Euros. When was the first big refereeing stuff? It was not when Anthony Taylor came on. Which league does he ref in? All the other leagues didn't have any of those things. So yeah, I'm not upset in terms of chasing City. I don't think we should look at it like we're chasing City. It's just upsetting that Liverpool City have won 3 games and we end up drawing a game at home. Like it's not as if we're at the Amex. We drew a game at home because the referee decided that, today he's going to make it about himself. And now we have Declan Rice out for the North London derby. So, yeah, life is great right now because one thing about my own fan base that I hate is they are already ready to concede. So, imagine we go to the North London derby and we don't get a result. Then maybe we lose to City. People are already packing it up as it is now that it's over because of fear. And the thing is, we're only doing this because everybody just thinks and everybody knows deep down that to compete with City, for every game they win, you have to win. Like, you just have to keep winning. And even when they drop points, you have to win. So it's either you're expecting us to go 38 games and win. It's not going to happen now. But yeah, it's just frustrating because Declan Rice didn't have to get sent off. If Brighton beat us with 11 men, that's fine. Or let's say Declan Rice maybe put his hand on the guy's face. The ball is rolling, and of course he was cheeky. He was trying to delay the free kick. But common sense has to come in. I don't know if you guys think otherwise, but it was just one of those ones where, as a fan of the sport, it's just annoying that in the Premier League, especially last week, you guys saw the Bournemouth game. The goal that got disallowed. Like, why are these things happening? And this is Bournemouth that maybe they're not going to fight relegation, but those 3 points are need, especially at home. That's 3 points that you need. Or even the Joe Linton one where he has his neck around the, like, come on. And
close line.
I sometimes I just look at it and I'm like, City never get these things called against them, which is also the most annoying part. Like, I remember the KDB penalty against Fulham, or the Rodri handball against Everton.
Yes.
We remember all of this because it's happened to our club like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's so annoying.
I almost owe you an apology because I went in pretty hard on Arsenal yesterday, actually, and having some time to reflect and
you didn't have time to reflect.
Liverpool winning 3-0. You could see sense, but that was a harsh red card. Now this is the battle I always have with Arsenal: is I want to hate you guys like a title contender. Part of me wants you guys to be the ones to beat City if we're not going to do it. But it's the after hearing your fans all summer, calling us out and saying, well, we're gonna do it. Seeing the wider fan base, not you, Chooks, but the wider fan base just giving up after match week 3. I'm thinking, well, we never did that. We would take City until the final day if we had to. And the ultimate thing here that people have seemed to have forgotten about is if Arsenal beat Man City, suddenly they're a point ahead and City have dropped points as well. So you've got to really take your chances. And in that 100 or 99-point season, it was pretty clear after the 8th game, I think. We had won all of our games, I think drawn United. But we absolutely killed City at Anfield. Not like 1-0 off an 85th minute deflection goal, which was still a big win. I'm not saying it wasn't. But like actually killed them, like destroyed Pep. Even he was left scratching his head. And you need to have that sort of result this season. Now, I think you play them in 2 weeks.
I mean, that's at the Etihad, dude. No, I wish it was at the
If you beat them at the Etihad, do you know the momentum swing, the actual fear you will put into the league if you win the game?
I agree with you. The wider fan base, the Ligona fan base especially, is the annoying part because they want to.
I love that guy. I love him.
And Graham, the only reason why they want to fold is to do the whole "I told you so." This guy can do. This guy can do. I'm not packing it up. I told you so. I'm the captain of the Arsenal Titanic. I will go down sinking if we sink. But watching the way we played Brighton, I'm very, very sorry. I don't think any team wants to see us when we're healthy.
It's fair point.
Boys, I saw Calafiori play, even though we're down 10, I'm like, yeah, this guy has the stuff. Like, the team is good. It's just, that's why I'm so happy that particular part of the fan base, I don't think they're the ones that go to games. Because I was telling even Pius, when I went to Philly to watch the preseason, the amount of kumbaya between Liverpool and Arsenal fans, you won't think it's the same thing on Twitter because everybody has realized that. And I've always told you, Riam, if Arsenal can't win the league, I am fully behind. Even this season, if you guys can send off Salah with the league, because I'm tired of Pep. I'm tired of seeing him every single week. Every single week is like he's finding a new way to just dominate. Rodri hasn't played one game. Haaland is on 7 goals. I was seeing the Haaland and Nunes stuff. If I forget Nunes, he has played 69 games in the Premier League and scored 70 goals.
70.
You think it's FIFA? Like, bro, he has already matched, I think, his 49 hat-tricks all time. He hasn't even played up to 100 games, 100 Premier League games.
But this is an interesting thing, right? Because as you said, they're missing Rodri, they're missing, and I know it's not about City, but just a quick point. They're missing Rodri, missing Foden. Foden wasn't that good last season until De Bruyne got injured and Foden was playing that role.
I don't think Ake has played either. It's been Rico
Ake
Lewis.
hasn't played, but then,
that's an extra body that could, when you say.
But you know what though? Haaland's goals dry up whenever De Bruyne's not feeding him the ball. Foden is more of a hero ball guy, and even Rodri. Kovacic was the one that scored against Chelsea at the end of the day. So you take Kovacic out of that team. Is Rodri going to score the goal? Maybe, I'm sure. But I don't think they get better. I think they stay about the same. I actually think when Foden comes back, they get worse.
Another thing too, Dorian, is remember when you used to say it? I didn't get it until I go into a tight race with them. Is teams like West Ham, Brentford, Palace really, really go out there and have a go at City. The rest of the league is going to go and lay down and just get dismantled. Yep. That's the problem. The problem is not if they are good or bad. It's like the Ipswich game. You just go there and you just give them the game. Literally, the game was done within 15 minutes.
And it will be a goalkeeper, a once-in-a-lifetime error from a goalie. He'll never make a mistake again. They'll use it as like load management for half. I see guys go out there and put out like a second team because it's like, it's silly. We might as well get a week rest in, right?
I don't think Uzo, at the Adams, I'm going to bring you in to talk on City shortly. But I don't think I disagree with you, Chooks, about teams going to lay down for them because
I think what I watch like the way they play against City.
Yeah, like the way they play against City. I mean, to be honest, maybe it's just difference in quality.
It's because there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. Bro, I watch West Ham
a lot better, please.
True. I watch West Ham yesterday. Like this is their new coach, Lopetegui. He's
No,
an
West Ham did
attack-minded
okay.
coach.
No,
West
West
Ham
Ham
did
board.
Exactly,
I give West Ham
They
their
approach the
credit.
game differently, right? They approach the game differently, but they couldn't. Like City
Yeah,
was just
no,
that
No,
press.
That's what he's
City
saying.
just
Though. Like
choked them.
he said West Ham, Brentford, and Palace.
That's what I'm
they-
saying. Like teams like that, even if they do lose to City, you always respect it.
Mhm.
My problem is sometimes because with City games, I can't watch City games sometimes because it's just sometimes you even check on your phone, they are up 2-0, 28 minutes. Like it's those kind of things where you don't see it that much with like the other pool competing with them. Like look at us against Brighton. It took almost 45 minutes to score. But these guys, like, they can wrap up games before halftime and they're already ready for the next game. So it's just difficult to kind of compete with that. And they haven't signed anybody too. Because me, I'm looking for every little thing to make myself believe that this year they will fall off. And every game they play is getting harder and harder. As I've said, eventually, I'll be honest, today is not that day. But every game City play, I don't know. It's because the West Ham game. I mean, Pius, you watched it. West Ham could have made it 2-2 if Kudus didn't hit the bar.
Yeah,
And it's a different game, but it's like West Ham creates.
But Chooks, you notice, right? If that happened against Arsenal, that's straight in the back of the net. It's City just have something that happens
Bro, I
where
don't know, man.
it always works out for them. I don't know how.
Man, that's why I'm so happy Liverpool is doing well. I will say it live. I want you guys to be in a title race because that's the only way to keep them honest. Because if it's a two-man race, let's say we fall out, right? They are just going to just fly. Like, I don't know. We kind of need it to I don't know. This is like somebody has to join everybody to beat them, and one person takes the glory. That's what it seems like. Like everybody has to join forces. Because the guy's already slapped Maresca. Now he's going to come and meet Arteta. But imagine he peels all his proteges in the same season. Man.
All right, Chinks. Before we move on from Arsenal, final take. After the international break, not London Derby, Arsenal Spurs, no Rice. How are you feeling?
I'm not as confident as I would if Rice is playing because I've seen what Partey is giving me. And
Jorginho Partey.
Now I think it's gonna be a Havertz, Odegaard and Jorginho with Sterling at 9. Sterling too got number 10. Amen. Pius, Adams, bless.
Bro, don't say we didn't help you now. Don't say we didn't help you. I give you all the ingredients.
Bless Ja for Sterling. But no, not London Derby. You guys know that fixture, man. Nothing normal ever happens. Last year, we're up 3 and almost ended up dropping points. It's one of those games that truly form goes out the window because both teams need to win that game, in my own opinion. With Spurs dropping points today and us throwing, the referee throwing away our points. But I'm not as confident going there without Rice. Moreno is out till November. So yeah, it's one of those end times down here.
Don't worry, you guys will be fine. And Riam, for the Liverpool, the fixtures for the Champions League are out. Like the schedule is out, and then can you imagine Man City and Real Madrid in the same week?
Have you seen that fixture list? Because I think so. Gosh, who was I saying it to? It's I think I'll pull it up here. I was saying it to Rafi, but yeah, Man City and Real Madrid back to back
at Anfield. Yeah, that should be interesting.
And then here was the other one as well. So okay, we have them within 4 days, and then we play 3 away matches back to back afterwards. So that's 5 matches within 13 days. And also sandwiched in between Southampton and Fulham at home. So we play 7 matches in 21 days within that stretch. And those are the sorts of things. I'm not going to say they're season defining, but we need to do well in the Champions League this year, I think. I missed playing Champions League football last year. We have Real at home. I think it's a good chance to get 1 victory against them. I just want 1. We lose to them every single time. I just want 1. But that Man City game is huge. It's absolutely huge. And we have to win it. There's no excuse.
Of course, as a Liverpool fan, you say we have to win it.
Well, sometimes people say, I'll take a draw. But I'm of the honest belief that if you want to beat City in a title race, you have to at least beat them once. And again, I'm sorry, Chooks, but you guys did it. You know what? You took 4 points from them last year, and
Yeah.
even that wasn't enough. So
It's never enough. Nothing is enough.
Like as in I like when they were reading the stats for. Can you guys hear me?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah,
When they
okay.
were when they were reading out the stats for the game last season, like not the game, like Arsenal last season, like they had more points than the Invincible. They performed better, but at the end of the day, they still fell short. So it's kind of depressing, doing all that and they're still coming second. But well, that's by the way.
Yeah. Are you
Uzo, let
telling
me come to you. Let's quickly talk. Uzo, let me come to you. Let's quickly talk Spurs. Yeah. So we saw Spurs today go to St. James's Park and disappointingly lose 2-1. I actually saw that game and I thought Spurs. I think it's a theme, right, for Spurs this season from the games I've seen from them. I thought the game against Leicester where they drew, I thought they controlled most of the game, more possession. I'm sure more shots on target, most of the opportunities. But at the end of the day, they still found a way. They conspired. Somebody will say, "I'm sorry." Somebody will say they were Spursy. The Spursy in them came out. They just somehow conspired not to win. The same thing again today. I thought they played very well for most parts of the game against Newcastle. Most of the chances, just that final pass, decision making in the final third. Let me get your thoughts on Spurs, Uzo.
Yeah, I mean, I think my prediction from last week was exactly that. Again, I'm not a prophet. I just have eyes, Like at the end of the day, I would love to be confident. There's a thing during predictions, and even when we were ranking attacks, people have accused me of trying to downplay the team or trying to downplay expectations. But people don't. I'm someone who wants to puff my chest out. That's my natural inclination. When Conte was here, when Mourinho was here, I was talking crazy. Win or lose, I was talking crazy. But I have eyes, and at the end of the day, I can only speak the truth as I see it. And I hate when people say you control the game. I don't think we controlled the game today. I think people assume that having the ball means that you have control of a game, but there are managers who are very adept at controlling a game without possession. One of such, I wouldn't say that Eddie Howe is one of those managers, but I think the way that Newcastle have set up their team, they're one of those teams. They're very comfortable without the ball. They have you exactly where they want you. They conserve energy and they pick their spots. And I've always said this from last season. We're just too easy to play against. Like we're the easiest fixture on everybody's list. I think even some of those Ipswich and those guys, I think they look forward to playing a team like us because they're always going to have space. They're going to have space.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to chip in something, right? There's something I saw on Twitter. I don't know if you're serious or you're just trolling. I saw you say something like "Bring back Conte."
No, I mean I never wanted Conte sacked. That's not a shocker. Everyone who knows me knows I never wanted him gone. I didn't think that he should have been fired. I think when you go up there and you tell the world that the players don't want to play under pressure, which is why we don't win anything, which is actually true. I don't think that should cost you your job. And I think if it costs you your job, that implies that the players should be okay with not playing under pressure. Hence why we don't win anything. Because when a manager says that, you get rid of the manager instead of the players who actually don't want to play under pressure. And it's the same thing now. These players, I said it last week, the Everton game, what was my review? I said, that's the kind of game they love. No low stakes, a nice day out with the fam. Everyone keeps talking about how we were at the City Ground against Forest when we had everybody's family, and I think it was a Sheffield game actually. People had their kids taking a nice walk after a nice win. That's what they want. That we have an entire 25 of that. They all just want a nice day out with the family. Bring the kids over the skywalk, go-kart under the ground. You know what I mean? WizKid might even be performing on the side. That's what we want. That's what we want. To win things, you have to play under extreme pressure. You have to play uncomfortable. It's not just knock it about and score and win. Pep don't even win that way. I think of every Pep title winning season, and I think of numerous games where it's been 2-1 at the death. You think of the Villa comeback. You think of there's so many games. There's a lot of games where it's not comfortable. It don't look good, and you just have to gut it out, right? Their one Champions League win not a pep game at all. So when I see my manager after every presser saying things like, it just didn't go our way, we just didn't take our chances, that's not the analysis that I want to take from that. I think it's possible to win games 1-0. It's not like you still get the same 3 points. I was making a joke in the group chat 2 weeks ago. I was like, I don't know if my manager knows that it's not the amount of goals you score that correlates to the amount of points you get for the win. Like, you don't get more points for scoring 4 goals. You get the same amount of points regardless. It's okay to score 1 and defend. That's fine. But I predicted this last week. I said the high line, Isak getting them behind, that was the exact goal that killed us. And any one of you here would have predicted the same thing. Oh, wait, Newcastle playing Spurs, Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, Isak, high line. I can already see the chances in my head. I can already see it playing out the exact way it did, and it played out that exact way. I don't think we controlled the game. I completely disagree. I think we were naive. I think we played right into their hands. We couldn't fashion any good chances. We had 20 shots and only generated a 1.2 XG. So and that's 3 games now. We haven't crossed 2 XG in any of the games. Even in the game we scored 4 goals. It was a screamer from Bissouma, who scored his first ever Spurs goal. So you're not going to count on that every week. But I'm just honest about my team. I think we have a squad that's capable of doing more, but I think that the manager is refusing to adapt to the league. And I think the longer he continues to be stubborn and dug in on his philosophy, I just don't see how he turns it around, because this league is very punishing. This is not a league where you can do that. I've not seen any manager survive this league and not have to have tweaks in their philosophy. Even a guy like Klopp, whatever you want to say, you can't do that. You can't be as exposed, right? It took until getting Van Dijk, it took until getting Fabinho, getting some type of structure, some type of spine. You need that in these kinds of games. So you can't be rolling out there with Bissouma and 2 fullbacks that invert. It's not realistic. And our next game is Arsenal. And contrary to everybody else's, a lot of the fan base are saying if we lose that game, they're going to riot. It's going to be a big deal. I expect us to lose the game. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to shout. I'm not going to say sack him. I don't think we should be winning that game. Just is a thing of styles make fights. It's not a good stylistic fight for us. We've done this dance with them twice now, and we know we can't really box with these guys. All of their strengths are our weaknesses. They like to play in transition. Saka is a demon 1v1. Nobody ever defends him 1v1. Guess what we're gonna do? You guessed it. We're gonna defend him 1v1.
We're gonna leave him one.
They're great at set pieces. We still haven't fixed the set piece thing. And I'm gonna say something. This is the one controversial take that is probably reactionary, but the one thing I took from this game is I think we need a new goalkeeper, because I think Vicario is very, very shaky on crosses. And we didn't concede from a set piece today, but I don't like that my goalie inspires panic every time the ball goes in there. He doesn't know when to come for it. He doesn't know when to stay back. When he does go for it, he's literally using his fingertips to push the ball like he's playing goalie for the very first time in his life. And it's weird because he's great at everything else. He's great at the shot stopping. He's great at commanding, at anticipating danger and coming out. But he's so bad with crosses and he's so bad with his feet. And I just think that the project can't survive that because of the way that we play. So I'm hoping that we're in the market, at least. If Liverpool can go out and get a bona fide stud at goalie with the best goalie in the world currently in their books, I don't see why we shouldn't be looking for at least competition for Vicario. But yeah, I mean, I think the expectations are still the expectations. We must get top 4. I've looked at the landscape. Nobody's blowing anybody away. All of the other top 4 candidates are just as bad as we predicted they will be. So it's going to be a war of attrition. Who can stay the healthiest? Who can be less ass on any given week? And I think we have to be able to throw our hat in there and say, okay, you've got Arsenal, Liverpool, and City. We need to be in the run-in for that 4th spot. And I think if he doesn't get Champions League, whether that's by 4th, by 5th, by coefficient, by winning the Europa League, whatever metric, if he doesn't get Champions League, he needs to be on the hot seat. That's just bare minimum for me. But yeah, besides that, not really surprised. I'm ready for these next 3 weeks to be. I think after Arsenal is City, or after Arsenal is United, maybe. I don't know. It's the schedule is brutal, man. We might be 9th by Christmas, and we might be 9th with only 9 active players because we're getting injuries again. Van de Ven is injured. Solanke is still injured. And he wasn't injured all of last season for Bournemouth. Richie's injured again. Again, we had a chance to sell this guy for 60 mil to Saudi, but he has principles. But anyways, man, times are rough. That's why I'm wearing my Nigerian jersey. I'm back where I'm loved. I got my coach back. Don't ask me about Spurs no more. If you ask me about my team, this is what I'm talking about, man.
You know what? Was football just has a way of doing these things to you.
Pius, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
No.
Not after a win. Don't be smug after a win. See, Pius does this kumbaya comforting thing after he gets his 3 points. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear kumbaya from Adams and from Chiefs that actually drop points. Enjoy your win, brother. Enjoy your win. Don't try to comfort me.
Let me just say this. I think Riam can also relate, like, based on the way last season ended. I think I told you guys it was like maybe the last episode of last season where I was just like, I think maybe this season I might just not be into club football, I'll just be in the background, like a neutral observing because with Klopp leaving and the uncertainty around and the slots and the way the season ended, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna be a neutral.
I think every Liverpool fan said that.
And then exactly. And then there's when the season started, you're like, okay, first victory, second victory. And now I'm fully in with my Liverpool jersey.
Mbappe just scored his first.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are they winning right now? Because they drew the last game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Somebody was saying
1-0.
007 for Mbappe, and they were trying to say Haaland is better. I just hate how reactionary this entire football Twitter is. Like, we're not gonna 007 Mbappe in La Liga. Like, come on, man. Come on.
All right, guys. I think this is where we have to kind of like bring the show to an end.
I want to say shout out to Saka though. Like, he didn't get love. Salah and Saka are the only ones to assist or score all of their team's goals.
Tell that to Chris Kavanagh. Tell that to Chris Kavanagh because he sent Declan Rice all before Saka could even get it.
Yeah, I was surprised Chooks didn't start with Zamina. Was that Kai Havertz?
I mean, we already beat those allegations. The next one is Ja. I think the street they call it murder. Kelly Adams, thank you so much, man. You guys keep giving us ever since the brilliant deal. You guys keep giving us some good guys, bro.
We might have more for you, man. We might have more.
Wait. So can Sterling play against Chelsea in the?
Nah. I don't know why they always. Other
hate
leagues.
that.
Yeah,
I want to see that so bad, bro. He deserves to play against Chelsea. He would have tore them up.
He'll get a hat trick. His eyes
would have.
Yeah, but he's on loan, so he can't play against Chelsea.
Yeah, he can't play.
But in other leagues, they're allowed to play. I don't know why they do that in Premier League.
I know. Adam saw that Havertz goal. Don't lie. You stood up. Adams, you can be honest.
It was a good goal, though. It was a good goal. He's still an average player, but
Adams,
it was a good goal.
Did you stand up when he scored that?
Nah, man. I have Nico, bro.
Guys, all right, guys. We have to bring the show to an end. Time is fast spent. Riam, special thanks to you for coming. Of course, I know you didn't take so much of an effort to join us after that inspiring.
Everybody eats sesh right there. I'll 2 weeks to enjoy it.
I'm sure right now when we end this podcast, you're going back to social media to go watch the highlights again. Well, that's what I'm going to be doing anyways. I don't know.
I'm on the Man United forums and seeing the head loss there. That's what I want.
Oh, that's true, man.
There's a page called Fan Reactions. You can watch their live reactions to every goal. It's
Mbappe hitting the celly.
There's this out of context stuff on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Then you see Ligona say, "Oh, Casemiro with a biblical stinker."
2 goals from Mbappe, by the way. He's just got it.
Yeah, Bruce,
wow. Now he's cooking.
All right, guys. It was nice. It was good. It was brilliant. Thanks,
All
Riam.
right,
Thanks for
man.
coming. Thanks, Uzo. Thanks, Chooks. Good one. Catch you guys next week. Take care, guys.
Dino Guardiola.